The role not taken. Yeah? Good. So now let's have group 1 and group 2 do the presentation.
Okay, hello everyone, we are group 1 and today we are going to introduce first the poetry of the poet of Ronald Reagan. Robert Frost was one of the most celebrity American poets of the 20th century. He was born on March 26, 1874. We don't have it. He was born on March 26, 1874, in San Francisco, California. After his father died in 1885, Frost's family moved to New Orleans, and where he spent most of his youth.
Both attended Mount College and later Harvard University, but he never played a degree. Instead, he pursued various jobs such as teaching, planning, and working in a mill, all while coming to writing poetry. In 1912, John moved with his family to England, where his writing career truly began. His first two poetry collections, The Poet's Well and North of Boston, were published there and earned him immediate
diverge in a yellow wood. It describes a moment of life choices and a turning point in life. And sorry, I could not travel with you. This shows the feeling of regret, because in a real life, we can just choose one direction and give up another. And he was traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could. This shows he is making a careful and deliberate decision instead of thinking quickly. And he also looks down one road as far as he could, trying to know what will happen in the future. To where it ends in the undergrowth. They symbolize the unpredictable future. Even though he wants to look the future, he could, but he cannot do it.
Exactly. The first sentence is, then took the other is just as fair. It means the poet choose the other road, but the fourth road seems equally bright and tempting. Next sentence is, having to have the better chance. It means if we let another road seems more special or more worse. Because it was grassy and wanted where it means it symbolized a road fresher with more grass. Maybe fewer people had walked on it. It maybe is a unique and challenging. And though as for that, the passing there had worms then really about the same. This means the points out that actually both roles are similar. And the center meaning of this sentence is mean people often think their choices are unique and meaningful, but actually many choices are not as different as they think.
So in the first stanza, churches appear to hold the potential real path, things clear or move to be a better direction. The first equally they emphasize this equality while no step has chosen the actual left both paths are fresh and untouched, suggesting that each option is uncertain and that lacks guidance. The line I keep the first for another day express a desire to set the first option for later. This reflects the wish to keep all possibilities open along with the worry of missing out if a choice is made too soon. However, the next line, way leads on to way, reveals the reality of life. Once a decision is made, it naturally leads to other events and new situations. Life keeps moving forward, making it increasingly difficult to return to the original point and reconsider a different option. The final line, I doubt it if I should ever convince the understanding that many decisions once made are hard or even impossible to that looking back on this moment is not entirely easy. And the second one is somewhere ages and ages hence. Place the speaker in a distance. Imagine himself as an older person reflecting on his past choices. A future look back understanding the choice only future, not at the moment they are made. This highlights the idea that the true impact of our decision is often understood only much later, not at the moment we make them. And the third line is two roads diverged in a wood and eye. And the dash creates a pose that reflects hesitation, memory, or contemplation. It emphasizes the weight of the choice was facing. And the next one is I took the one less traveled by. It reveals that he chose a path that fewer people would have taken, symbolizing individuality and a willingness to make unconventional decisions. And finally, and that has made all the differences. So that's the central message of the poem. Our choices shape our lives, yet it also hints at an important truth. We can never know what the other road might have led to. When we look back on our lives, any meaning or significance we attach to our choices is something we contrast later. To talk about the summary. In the post the road has taken, the author describes a traveler who comes to two diverging paths in a yellow road. Both paths appear across the sea, and he has to choose one of them. Even though he tells himself that he will see the other path for another day, he realizes deep down that he will probably never discuss decided. And later, he imagines himself telling others that he chose the less traveled road and that this decision made a meaningful difference in who he became. And the poem highlights how life is full of choices and how we can never really know where each decision will take us. It also shows how people often reshape their memories to give more meaning to the choices they make. And in the poem, the road not taken symbolizes independence, uncertainty, and personal journey of choosing our own direction. And the author suggests that even if we don't know where our choices will lead, the act of choosing itself naturally helps shape our identity. And this is our word distribution. And here is the reference. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, it's right now we will group 2 did a good job. Thank you. It's let's see. And something related to your final grade. The first thing is about the bonus point, film watching. So let me retrieve it. Good. So many thanks to Eric who has posted it for us on my behalf. I must explain something to you why I have created this assignment. Well, actually, this is for some people. Yeah, because they used ChatGPT, and I'm not in the position to ask you to refrain from using it. So that teacher say I had to fail them. And if in this way they might be failed in the end of the semester. So it's a good idea for them to get some bonus points. Of course, they have to do something for themselves if they want to pass the course. So here, who, okay, yeah, no limit for those who fail in their exam, in their midterm. Yeah, because I issued a warning for them. And for the others, only 3 films permitted. So in Chinese, 就是期中考的时候，我有跟各位讲，如果你用 AI， 真的有人用 AI， 所以要帮他们过关，好，所以我就让这些同学有看影片的机会，好，那我也开放给其他同学，好，那换句话讲，这些期中考预警有收到的话，那就是没有 limits， 你去看几部影片的话，让你自己加分，我就加上你的平常成绩，好，那么如果已经过关的同学，最多只能看3部片子，因为我不想让那个 balance 破坏的太离谱 ，OK， 好，是这样子，好，那这边的话 ，what to do？ Well, just what you did for your midterm exam. You just write a response to me, and then you can get 1 to 5 bonus points or more if excellent. So, yeah, for 1 film. And do not use AI again, otherwise I'm going to double deduct your daily grades. 好，那不要再用 AI 了。如果有人在用 AI 来写这个影片的话，我就倒扣你的分数，双倍，至少双倍。You have to be honest and responsible for your thinking and for your deeds. And the deadline is, yeah, just about 1 month from today. 好，包括今天，所以差不多 roughly about, yeah, about 1 month. Not less than 1 month, but about there. And just give me a printed version. 只要给我印的就可以，不用上传给我。换句话讲，老师这样做的话有好处的原因是，教的人的话，identity， 可以保护住。好，我也是在保护这些同学。好 ，Good, thank you。好，那哪些片子呢 ？Good, so there are various topics for you to choose from. For example, Shakespeare. You may want to watch any films. Yeah, any film adaptations of Shakespeare's plays. Yeah, or related to Shakespeare. Whatever you found, or you have found from the internet. Or you have seen before, this one, just write a response, and you're going to get bonus points. And the other is identity and choice. Yeah, today, look to the presentation of Robert Frost's The Role Not Taken and Identity and Choice. Good, so there are some very good films, and you may just watch them. Good. Yeah? For example, this one is quite famous, right? Good. 好，3个的傻瓜。And the catcher in the rye, yeah, look for the good presentation here. I mean, in their midterm exam, yeah, very good. And how about identity? Identity, well, some man-made creatures might have identity problems. And the man who makes the scientific creatures may also have the identity problems. Good. So, for example, let me show this one works. So, for example, 科学怪人 Frankenstein, and then Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde. Good. So in here in this film, the main Victor and the main creature Frankenstein, they both have identity problems, and this one is even trickier. Yeah, because this person uses a kind of medicine, and he can change his personality. Yeah, at day and at night. Good. And here, yeah, good. So this one, group 2, did a good presentation. Did a very good oral exam. 理想被教，好，品种人 good, and the other are very good, and they are mentioned this. Okay, yeah, that's time. And Christmas, yeah, a very good film is on a Christmas carol. So this is the first thing which you might think about if you want to have some bonus points. And the second thing is about your midterm exam, final exam. Yeah, okay, so here, yeah, so the rules are very simple. Just follow the rules here. Good, and there is even a suggested link for you to watch it. For example, let's have this link. Hopefully it works. People are very creative. Yeah, because they made a song and they sang it. Good. Okay, so you may watch this later. This is for your consultation if you do not know how to do a role play. 好，这个地方的话，就是说，在2年前，我有开放，我就说我们有录影，好，那我们把它抓下来。让你们有参考的资料。如果你要看一下过去的学长姐怎么样子来做起居报告 ，and the requirement is that you just write the script of Midsummer Night's Dream。期中考期我们上了《仲夏夜之梦》 ，and now it's your turn to adapt Shakespeare's play into a version of your own, and tell me something what you think. Yeah, from the plot. The characters, yeah, good. And the grading criteria is that, yeah, you have to do a role play, and then you may use AI because this is not writing. So you may ask AI to first you generate ideas first, and practice is not that good, and you want to better it. You want to improve your ideas. You can ask AI to help you. Yeah, this is fine, but when you are writing, no, you are not allowed to use AI. 好，在 idea generation 的话是 OK 的。好，但是你在 writing 的时候，好，同学为什么会让我觉得说你写的不 OK 的原因，是因为真的是 style 差太多了。好，然后看起来的话，这实在是根本不像他自己所写的，啊，所以我觉得很可惜。啊，因为你们都非常 talented。OK， 好 ，good， 好。So use AI, and then when you are using AI, just to remind you again, generate your ideas first, and then use AI to improve your ideas. If you feel that your ideas are not that good, but please be confident because what you have been thinking is really a very good and general and original idea. Yeah, for example, last week, I asked you to give me the feedback on what you think about Merrily, 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 yeah, the lullaby. And then group 4 did a very good response. For example, I'm going to read it for you. It's pretty abstract at all, but we often feel that the passage delivers message of life is like a boat. We've been floating over the stream for our entire life, merrily, 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 like Alice fell down the rabbit hole without knowing where we were going. this is brilliant. Yeah, I haven't connected Alice in Wonderland with Marilyn. So I believe perhaps this must be written by Darren because he has always been very original in my writing class. So let me just say, generate your ideas first, and then use AI to help you find some writing style or think from another perspective. Okay, good, brilliant. And here, if you use AI preferably, just give me, for example, perhaps you ask AI to help you roughly about 30%. It's not required, but this can show your responsibility. Okay, good. And I think I will be touched by seeing your responsibility. I will give you points because I can feel that you are trying to do your bit good and even better. Good. And here, please know that this is the final exam, so you have to be here. Yeah, and please be punctual. Good. And here, who should be on the stage and what to do? Yeah, in case my English is not clear to everybody, so I provide a Chinese translation. However, you just know that not everybody has to be here because some people are very shy. I once told a senior colleague of you who graduated several years ago, and she had taken my courses 3 times, but she really had no courage to be on stage. She had stage fright, and she only was able to come up here in the 3rd class, and she felt very proud of herself because really it walked out of her comfort zone. Good, okay, good. But anyway, some people may do the props, 就可以做道具 or the background music or whatever. Okay, good. And then if you memorize your cues, yeah, your noise, even better. Good. And here, yeah, just have some more details organized later. Good. And please be mind your time because it's very important because you are doing a role play. And then prefer them for me. So the grading. Yeah, good. So the grading is like this. We are going to look at it very clearly right now. 好，所以请注意一下，就是好，就像一只梦的剧本、人物或情节改编。And then my grading is a your creativity and teamwork. And then of course, when you are presenting, yeah, your script constitutes 40% and your performance another 6%, 60%. Okay, and please email me your script by this date. Yeah, why I need to have a e-version? Because sometimes I might have forgotten your presentation and I may be ready in order to give you a fair or even a better grade. Good. And here? Yeah, good. So the emailing, if you do not do this, then your grade will be what? And the teamwork, and it's on the exam day, and then your performance time, please know that you have very huge, big group. So you have roughly about 10 people, and then make it at least 8 minutes long. And we want to merge together as a big group. Yeah, roughly about 12 minutes long. 不要少于8分钟. That is to say, you have to use your creativity, and that is why, yeah, you will feel that this company will use AI to help you generate some noise. That's fine. Okay, good. And here, yeah, some people like to talk forever, so I will give the person warning. this will not happen. And here, because on the exam day, everybody is together in a big class. Unlike the midterm exam, you have an oral examination and ask you to complete it by group. And right now, you are seeing if the whole class is performance, because a performance needs audience. Everybody will be around in the same classroom. 好，在考试的时候，每个人都在场。好，因为我们表演者需要观众。Okay, good. Although you are not a professional, me not a professional judge, but anyway, we are going to be in a class, and please refrain from talking because the performance are being presented. 好，那考试当天的话，要记住一下，好，在上面表演同学哈，他们在考试当中，好，而且尽量要保持安静。好，对。So, and prefer it. Okay, give it to me. However, these are just conventional rules, and here do not use AI. Yeah, plagiarism. Yeah, good. 好，就是那个 style，这个在演戏的时候还可以接受，好，但是就是请记得给我一个 note 会比较好一点点。好，对。And here, 加分 give me the reference, just like good did a good job here. 好，刚才第二组报告的有给我 references. 好，所以就会给他们加分。Good. Yeah, just like this. So any questions so far? And I'm going to give you the sample. These are the collections. This is the last semester's role play script, and they are the other two samples from earlier graduates, former graduates. So you may take a look at how to write a role play script. Okay, so here, Lillian. 好，这那个有过去学长姐。好，他们演戏的剧本可以看一下怎么样处理。So remember to give me just how you did for your PPT presentation. Yeah, the script and the segment list and the references for bonus points. So any questions so far? 好，那如果没有的话，最后一件事情提醒就是你们那个缴交的。Yeah, your PPT presentation time. I mean, you have to give me your PPT. Yeah, by 21st of December, week 16. Yeah, 3 day months. If no questions, we will take a break and come back here for this poetry part 2. Thank you. give you 1 minute. Okay, so now they talk to of what poetry is, but before that, it's better for me to remind the other three groups who need to do the presentation. So group 3, Renita, Jen, yeah, okay, good. So please know that next week you have to do the presentation. Okay, it's a PPT. Okay, yeah, good. And group 4 and 5, the following week after the last. Okay? Good, good. So then now your turn. And I would like each group to take a question. So yes, okay, group 3, yeah, your turn. Take the first question. What is poetry? Okay, yeah, you may use AI, however, well, this is an open discussion, so you may use AI. Yeah, but when you are writing, you must tell me that you use AI. Okay, yeah, and now, group 4. Yeah, so what is the difference? What are the differences between poetry and the novel and the play? Yeah, and group 3, yeah. Question 3, group 5, Kenny, yeah. Tell me why is poetry important? Yeah, and why is the poet so much revered in the Western culture? It's true. Yeah? Good. And in group 4, no. Question 4, group 1. Group 1. Okay, so Lillian. Okay, yeah, you be the group leader. Yeah. Today's group leader. Okay, good. So how to read poetry? Okay, good. And group 2. Yeah, can AI write a poem? Okay, good. So go ahead. We are going to have a 5-minute discussion. We are going to collect all your answers at around 4:40. Okay, so go ahead. Last minute. Okay, now stop. Let's have group one, group three. Do the first question. Yeah, I'm going to listen to yours. Okay, so I can give you bonus points. And more importantly, you can share and share your thoughts and express yourself. That's the most important thing. Okay? Good. So group three. Yes, good. Please. Forward. Who is responsible for the oral presentation? What is poetry? Yeah? Group three, who is going to be the presenter? Good, okay, Donna.
Poetry is a form of writing that you carefully choose a word, rhythm, sound, and imagery to express the ideas or emotion in a powerful, concentrated way. And it is different from normal writing because poetry often plays with language, and it has rhythm or musicality, and it creates vivid images, and it can be very short or very long.
You have told us a lot. Could you just repeat once again? Yeah, that's the most important thing. So what is poetry?
It is a form of writing.
Okay, it is a form of writing. Why is it important?
It is important because it has rhythm, sound, and imagery to express the idea or emotion of the writer.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Anybody else?
And it is different from normal writing because it plays with languages and use metaphors, symbolism, and it breaks grammar rules on purpose.
Awesome. Okay, this is different from the other
Writing.
writing. Why?
It has rhythm and musicality.
Okay, very good. Yeah, very good. Good. Okay, yeah, musicality.
Musicality.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah, very good. Good. So I can give bonus points to this group. Good, very good. Brilliant.
literature is mainly and how we use language, structure, and reader engagement to compress meaning. So there's a very obvious thing about literature poetry is that it's usually shorter, so it's composed of dense words rather than long sentences like in novels. And it doesn't have to be like deliver a very complete story. It's the meaning of the sensation. I think what makes poetry distinctive is that it's usually out of creativity, and then there's one thing that I think about poetry is that it doesn't have to be understood by the readers. It's the most important part for writers to convey their meanings. So it depends on how we read.
Yes, very good, very good. Okay, very good. Very, very, very good. Yeah, very good. Very good. Awesome. Good. Okay. Good. Okay, good. And then, good 5. Yeah, question 3. So, why is it poetry or poet so important? Actually, very good. Use the microphone.
Why is poetry important in Western culture? Because it is one of the first ways to tell stories. Studying history and
Yeah. What is it? The first. What did you say in your first sentence?
it has been one of the first ways to tell
Okay.
stories.
Okay. Okay. Very good. One of the first. Very good. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Good. Thank you.
Second one is why does poetry matter? Because it helps people express feelings and ideas that are hard to say in normal words, and it helps others understand them.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Very good.
Third one is why is highly referred in Western culture? Because their words inspire people and keep important stories alive and influence culture for a long time.
Okay. Good. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Very good. Okay. Good. So now the fourth question: how to read a poem? Yeah. Good. So one. Yeah. Good. Alright. We are just sharing, so no worries if yeah. Very good, Lillian. Now.
When we're reading a poem, is different from reading ordinary text. First, we should read it slowly and more than once, because the meaning becomes clear after repeated readings. The title is also important, as it gives clues about the theme. While reading, we should pay attention to the image, emotions, and literary devices such as metaphors, similes, and rhyme. And to analyze the poem, we can look at the tone, the structure of the lines, the choice of words, and how these elements help express the poet's ideas. We should also think about the message the poet wants to convey. Appreciating a poem means feeling the emotions behind the words and connecting the poems to our own experiences. When we understand both the technicals and the feelings, we can truly enjoy the poem's beauty and depth.
Okay, and now the last question.
think yes, but
Really? You think yes, okay?
But-
See, but
we think people can write more emotionally and creative than AI because
okay, yeah,
people will rather point at their own story in it.
yes.
But AI can use typical way very well. They are just copy and paste those authors on, and so we think people can write post them better than AI.
Okay, so this one is better. Okay, yeah. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, good, very, very good. Okay, good. So basically, you really have got very good answers. Thank you very much. So try to write down all the main ideas. Yeah, good. From your presentation. Yeah. Good. Good. So right now I'm going to show you something so you can learn something more. But you see some words. I'm trying to draw your attention so you can know that some words comes with yeah, top up. Good. Okay. Good. So why is poetry important to us? Because well, like any literary work, we are trying to find the meaning and how to make the meaning connected to us. That's why we seek wisdom and beauty, yeah, in the language of poetry. And poetry language is well easy in some way, but most of it is difficult. Yeah, why? Because it has a sort of wordplay. Yeah, it uses a lot of imagery and its choice of words. Yeah, its diction, the words, usually archaic, I mean very old or difficult, or because of its musical musicality. Yeah, because it has to be rhymed, it has to be rhythmic. 好，要押韵，而且要有节拍。And it might be difficult for you to understand what is happening in the poem. However, and another thing is imagery. 好，那种比喻，the hidden comparison. Yeah, the symbolic meaning. Hard to understand if you do not belong to the culture or if you do not have much reading experiences. But that's why you are here, and that's why I'm teaching you something. And poetry is actually my background. 我主修也是在 poetry 这个部分，所以跟你 share. So yeah. So what is poetry? Yeah. Tied to the importance of being a poet. In the Western culture, if you tell everybody that you are a poet, then you are very high, you are indeed great. Why? Because the word poetry originates from a Greek word meaning to make. 去制造. So, now let me ask you, who is the Christian? You know, 基督徒在这边. Okay, that's fine, but you know the book, the Bible, the only book. 世界上最流行最广的那本书 The only book, the Bible. 圣经。圣经一开始，请问是谁创造的世界？上帝 of course, the God. And God is the maker. 当然可以看得到吗 The maker. Okay, good. So now try to get back to here. 如果上帝是the making the history. He is making the meaning to us. So that 上帝所造的万物 connected to us, right? And the purpose for it connected to us as well. Understand? That's why a philosopher called Heidegger, yeah, one of the most important philosophers called Heidegger. Okay, Heidegger. Okay, I'm so sorry, my Chinese translation is not very good. He says that he finds no philosophy, he finds no wisdom from philosophers, but only from poetry. Yeah. Okay. Good. So, and then a poet is unlimited. And then why is poetry so important? Because of its musicality. So melody. Yeah. It imitates the sound of a river. Okay. And it uses figures of speech. So this is some kind of introduction. But I forgot to ask you one important question. Yeah. The state funeral. State funeral. You know what it is? Of course, all the markers are very bad, so I have to use the red one. State funeral. What does it mean? Yeah, Donna is always one of the best students, very attentive here. So state funeral, what does it mean? Donna? Funeral 是葬礼，对不对 ？State funeral 是表示国家的葬礼。It means that it is often, paired or done with the president, the king, or the prime minister. Yeah. But yeah. This French poet called Paul Valéry, yeah, he was given a state funeral. The French people have got the most Nobel Prize in literature, and this person, this poet, did not get one, but he was given a state funeral. Why? Because his poetry really has inspired a lot of people. Just now, Lillian said that he could, or another person anyway, poetry is to inspire not only him, but another one, and this one really got Nobel Prize in literature.
头望明月，低头思故乡。
So you see, the Chinese poem and the English poem the same. Rhymes and rhymes, see? 你可以光亮 on the way. Good. Okay. And here, short track. Why? Why, Miss Marina? Yes, okay, yeah, have some difference. So you will
only moments to create the shortest poem. Ali captivated Harvard's graduating class in Muhammad Ali spent years training to become the greatest boxer the world had ever seen, but only moments to create the shortest poem. Ali captivated Harvard's graduating class in 1975 with his message of unity and friendship. When he finished, the audience wanted more. They wanted a poem. Ali delivered what is considered the shortest poem ever. Me, we. Or is it me, we? No one's really sure. Regardless, if these two words are a poem, then what exactly makes a poem a poem? Poets themselves have struggled with this question, often using metaphors to approximate a definition. Is a poem a little machine, a firework, an echo, a dream? Poetry generally has certain recognizable characteristics. 1. Poems emphasize language's musical qualities. This can be achieved through rhyme, rhythm, and meter, from the sonnets of Shakespeare to the odes of Confucius to the Sanskrit Vedas. 2. Poems use condensed language, like literature, with all the water wrung out of it. 3. Poems often feature intense feelings, from Rumi's spiritual poetry to Pablo Neruda's Ode to an Onion. Poetry, like art itself, has a way of challenging simple definitions. While the rhythmic patterns of the earliest poems were a way to remember stories even before the advent of writing, a poem doesn't need to be lyrical. Rainer Doll's Apfel and Eugen Gomringer's Silencio toe the line between visual art and poetry. Meanwhile, E.E. Cummings wrote poems whose shapes were as important as the words themselves, in this case, amplifying the sad loneliness of a single leaf falling through space. If the visual nature of poetry faded into the background, perhaps we'd be left with music. And that's an area that people love to debate. Are songs poems? Many don't regard songwriters as poets in a literary sense, but lyrics from artists like Paul Simon, Bob Dylan, and Tupac Shakur often hold up even without the music. In rap, poetic elements like rhyme, rhythm, and imagery are inseparable from the form. Take this lyric from the Notorious B.I.G. I can hear sweat trickling down your cheek. Your heartbeats sound like Sasquatch feet, thundering, shaking the concrete. So far, all the examples we've seen have had line breaks. We can even imagine the two words of Ali's poem organizing in the air. Me, we. Poetry has a shape that we can usually recognize. Its line breaks help readers navigate the rhythms of a poem. But what if those line breaks disappeared? Would it lose its essence as a poem? Maybe not. Enter the prose poem. Prose poems use vivid images and wordplay, but are formatted like paragraphs. When we look at poetry less as a form and more as a concept, we can see the poetic all around us. Spiritual hymns, the speeches of orators like Martin Luther King Jr., JFK, and Winston Churchill, and surprising places like social media. In 2010, journalist Joanna Smith tweeted updates from the earthquake in Haiti. Was in the B-room getting dressed when heard my name. Tremor. Ran outside through sliding door. All still now. Safe. Roosters crowing. Smith uses language in a way that is powerful, direct, and filled with vivid images. Compare her language to a haiku, the ancient Japanese poetic form that emphasizes bursts of brief intensity, with just 3 lines of 5, 7, and 5 syllables. The waters of poetry run wide and deep. Poetry has evolved over time, and perhaps now more than ever, the line between poetry, prose, song, and visual art has blurred. However, one thing has not changed. The word poetry actually began in verb form, coming from the ancient Greek poiesis, which means to create. Poets, like craftsmen, still work with the raw materials of the world to forge new understandings and comment on what it is to be human in a way only humans can. Dartmouth researchers tested this idea by asking robots to pen poetry. A panel of judges sorted through stacks of sonnets to see if they could distinguish those made by man and machine. You may be happy to know that while scientists have successfully used artificial intelligence in manufacturing, medicine, and even journalism, poetry is a different story. The robots were caught red-handed 100% of the time.
So AI can't write a poem, okay? So this is the answer, poetry is really very unique, like you. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you.